So anybody who plays ukulele knows what a G string is. That's right. This is that first string on your ukulele. But do you know that there's a low G string? And the only difference is an octave. So the ukulele traditionally is tuned. My dog has fleas. A low G string is an octave lower. That's not quite right, that's a little off. But it's a difference of an octave. Now, why do we have a low G string? Well, if you have a high G string, you have not as much range. This one is very close to that high string. So, when you have a ukulele, you have a couple strings that are very close together. But if you have a low G string, then you have a little bit wider range of what you can play. Also, if you play guitar also, you're kind of used to having the low note, the low string, as your bass string. Whenever I change a song from guitar and put it over to ukulele, it's almost always low string. Why? Because I'm used to guitar. So, if I want to do something in guitar, it's easier for me to have a wider range. If you play guitar, you're more used to that lower sound. I just finished up this book. In this book, the entire thing is low G. Every song in here is low G. The Final Fantasy, there were a couple songs that were low G, but most of them were just traditional tuning. Why is this entire thing low G? Because the guy who did this is the same guy who did this. He also did the guitar arrangements. So, for somebody coming from guitar and going over to ukulele, it's a lot easier to use that low G string. Now, you can have high G, you can have low G, but you can't really just switch back and forth from high G to low G. It's going to go out of tune. So, you can either pick one or the other, or you can get two ukuleles. Two ukuleles? I love ukuleles. Sometimes two just isn't enough. Sometimes you gotta have a soprano ukulele. Most people know the soprano ukulele. This is a tenor ukulele. It's closer to a concert ukulele. But the soprano is probably the most famous one. It's the little one. It's cute. People love it. But your fingers get really close together up here sometimes. So, sometimes it's nicer to have just a little bit more length. And that way you have just a little bit more room to move. Also, in a soprano ukulele, it ends here at 12. Well, okay, so this has 15, but it meets the body at 12. Here, on this tenor, the neck meets the body at 14 and goes all the way up to 17. So you have a little bit more room to go, and you can go a little bit higher. So if you have these two different sizes, but the exact same tuning, what you have is longer strings at higher tension or shorter strings at lower tension, which makes it even trickier when you want to have a low G on your ukulele. Then it becomes really loose. And you can't really do that effectively with the normal strings. You really need to get, now these are the wound strings. So these nice nylon ones don't do that. This one, you can hear. So, high G, low G, they're both very good. Now you know, if you didn't know before.